gumballs in the mail and trying it and enjoying it. Next, it cuts to an ad from the same year that's got a little bit better audio. Back that up where it's like, it doesn't come from a cow, but it could. Doesn't come from bananas. It's not natural, but it comes from nature. Well, yeah, it's a genetically engineered bacteria, the first ever engineered, that was meant to eat toxic waste by the Pentagon. I mean, look it up. But this is showing parents their kid, oh, it's healthy like milk. Go ahead and go back to it. Here it is.
Sweet. Neither do cows, but they might as well. If you've had bananas and milk, you've eaten what's in NutraSweet. It's made from things like those found naturally in good things to eat, like 2 building blocks of protein. Nature doesn't make NutraSweet, but NutraSweet couldn't be made without it. NutraSweet brand sweetener.
Oh.
Just look for the swirl.
Oh, it's nature. Everybody's happy. Nature doesn't make it, but it could. It could. Oh, why don't you tell us how you make it? You're showing us cows and little kids making big cereals of milk and eating bananas and a toucan and a tree. Everything's healthy. Why don't you tell us where it came from? Why don't you just show us the big factories? I've seen video of it. We ought to show people that again. Big, giant black slur of all these bacteria that they feed different types of toxic waste. It's bizarre. And then they release a poison that's highly addictive. Why don't you show that? Oh, no, we're not going to show people that. And, of course, going back to the doctors saying they love cigarettes, that was also part of the hype to get doctors to not speak out against cigarettes, so doctors smoking cigarettes would feel good about it, but also feel like they were being honored. Oh, I'm being honored. I'm being invited to the ball. I'm part of the ad. Edward Bernays said about 100 years ago, he started this, we'll have big balls, and we'll put them on the newsreels and radio, and we'll have the government people there with the Hollywood stuff had just begun. And we'll make government look like it's a pageant, and everyone will sign on to our ideas just because we invite them to the party. They're killing you on purpose. Get that straight. We'll be back.
Hear your prayers.
Okay, we're going to start the next hour soon. It'll be nothing but your calls until I get to everybody that's been holding, and then more news, then more calls. For Terry, Tara, Gator, Carl, Leon, I'm going to get to all of you. I promise to get to some financial news here, but listen to me, folks. The eugenics is what runs it all. Everything else is a tentacle, okay? You understand that? You understand everything. You understand how they operate? You got them. Again, we have the highest cancer rates, every other disease, and I mean, it's way above every other country, and as other countries adopt what we do, it goes off the charts. Okay? And the globalists say they're killing us, and they enjoy it, and they suck the money out of us as they do it. It's very, very simple. And you wake up to that, all the other stuff's window dressing. S&P warns of cuts, another U.S. downgrade coming. Pay the bankers higher interest, even though we gave them the money. Again, you can't make up the level of the fraud. Because the globalists have learned, like Hitler said, the bigger the lie, the better. The bigger the fraud, the better. Make it so outlandish. House prices hit post-bubble low. I thought it was a big recovery. Of course, the government knows it's a depression. They engineered it. Latest congressional budget outlook for 2012-2022. Well over 10% unemployment. Got numbers here about Obama's policies to increase national debt 47% to $21.7 trillion. CNS News doing a good job bringing us down. He's not screwing up. It's his job to sucker you along. I wanted to bring Ted Anderson up, obviously, to pitch gold at incredibly low prices at you, and hope you're sane enough to get it. We told you them artificially raising margin calls, driving things down, was, from statistically and historically, only a tactic. Look at the 12-year graph. They do that from time to time. It goes up and goes down, but always overall up. Now it's going back up because they've announced QE3. And China and others are buying it. Ted, what's the news you've got today on this front?
Well, like you say, the S&P story is the big thing today, that they're looking to downgrade the dollar again, or downgrade the U.S. government bonds. We're just falling into banana republic status. China, here's an article out of Al Jazeera, and it just says China is shifting some of its massive foreign holdings into gold away from U.S. dollar, undermining the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency, according to the recent released WikiLeaks. So it's coming out of Wiki, but it's it's still true. This is what China's doing. We have China sitting in the sixth largest holder of gold, and their population obviously is much greater than that. They can take on quite a bit more. So that's going on. The MF Global thing is the guy Michael Roseman is going to be in front of Congress talking about the MF Global crises. The European
Corzine got caught perjuring himself, saying he didn't know where the money went, and now they just say it's evaporated, or no, vaporized is the word. Yeah,
vaporized. I mean, obviously a lot of debt and a lot of default and too much leverage, and it's just the whole thing is such a mess. And then that's being driven by Europe, and here you have China getting away from the United States currency. Obviously, gold is going to go up in price. Right now, the U.S. dollar's down at 78.78. Gold right now is up. It's seen its high today of 1751.70.
All right, just to be clear, too, briefly, Ted, if people call Midas Resources and ask for a whole list of the Radio Alex Jones specials on silver, gold, the maple leaves, buffaloes, Krugerrands, American Eagles, British sovereigns, there's a whole bunch of specials right now, and you can get a free book and a free video with the $2 silver that's at cost. To ask about that special, you can simply call 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. Folks, I believe now is the time to buy it. All right, we're going to do 5 more minutes with Ted Anderson, go to break, and go right to your calls. I promise I'll control myself. I want to hear from you. We got a bunch of other news that I got to get into in Iran. They got big think tanks saying, yeah, false flags will help us. Got the latest on Bill Gates. That's all coming up. But right now, going back to Ted, I mean, Ted, look, the system has engineered a depression to create more of a managed economy, just like the Great Depression, but this is going to be a lot bigger, obviously. Home ownership rates have fallen 66% as downturn nears. But the reports are that the Chinese government, not just the people, are buying gold as fast as they can. Venezuela has announced irrevocable withdrawal from World Bank arbitration body. Venezuela, of course, has demanded its gold back out of British banks. And it's now placed itself directly in line of fire with globalist elites. That's out of Venezuela analysis by Ewan Robertson. We've got Sicily's pitchfork movement in revolt, open revolt in areas of Italy, but nobody's covering that here in our media. I mean, at Davos, Ted, the elites admitted that global government's failing. That was what they had up on the big screen, and that they're concerned. They should be concerned, Ted. They've been so good at robbing everything. They haven't been too good, though, at covering up that they're the ones doing it, Ted.
No, they haven't been, as a matter of fact. And like you say, they're losing control. They're doing everything they can to destroy the currency. We'll probably be falling into a new currency, a world currency. But David Malpass is writing right now that the Fed's actions will kill the U.S. dollar. And, of course, he's referring to the Fed's policy to keep the interest rates low all the way to the year 2014. I mean, you got to realize that's quantitative easing 3, even though they're not saying it. It's happening. And that's going to drive gold prices up. Gold has been money for 6,000 years. So is silver. People have been trading gold and silver as money, and that's why it holds value. When you see gold and silver rising, that is a bellwether to the fact that the United States dollar is dropping. It's hard to follow the dollar indexes and actually get a take on what's going on because the currencies that they're measuring against are falling too. So you have to turn to commodities to get that. You can look at oil, you can look at other things, but one of the best things to look at is gold. And Alex, you're talking about gold and silver. Personally, I think that people they should not be without this. We have survival bags of dimes on the website. You can call us for them. But that is small pieces of silver that can be used as money no matter what happens. From what I can tell, for everything that I've been reading, the United States dollar's in trouble. And if you're sitting here thinking that you're going to be able to have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, even money in government securities like treasury bonds, notes, bills, that type of thing, the inflation tax is just going to eat it away. That's what they're going for right now. The Fed is printing money to try to keep the economy going, and S&P is even coming out now and saying that the United States bonds are in trouble and you better do something different. And that's why you see China getting out of it. And of course you're going to see all these countries that are obviously not favorable to the United States to start with. They don't want to be involved with that.
And you're going to see total demonization of gold because it's what exposes the fact that the currencies are all being devalued. And we're not saying gold and silver are silver bullets, but it's as close as you're going to get in my experience, in my personal life. You know, I bought gold at $300 an ounce, silver at $5, never sold it at its high, didn't sell it when it went down a little, didn't sell it when it goes back up. It's an emergency backup, and I don't have much, but it's something. And Ted's got a bunch of special deals running right now. Call. They've got whatever you're looking for. They got a big selection because Ted buys big during the dips because he's confident that it's going to go back up. He sells you the lower price gold and silver. When the price goes up, he doesn't raise the price. That's how he's become the 5th largest gold and silver broker in the United States. Here's the Midas number, 800-686-2237. Give him a call today. Ask the brokers any questions you've got. Ask them about specials on books and videos as well. 800-686-2237. They're almost out of that Big Brother book, so when that's gone, that'll be it for the free video, free book, and the $2 silver dollars and the free shipping. You just buy the silver dollars, you get free shipping, free book, and video. It's an incredible deal. 800-686-2237. Thank you, Ted Anderson.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Alex.
This is Al. Okay, we're going to go to your phone calls, and then Issa threatens Holder with contempt over the false flag terror attack that the Criminal Justice Department launched against Mexico and the U.S. to blame the Second Amendment by shipping the armaments into the country, to then blame our basic freedoms because they are Constitution-hating terrorists. Smart meters for energy to be voluntary, but then you actually read deeper, it's basically mandatory. Pythons are squeezing the life out of the Everglades. Scientists warn, we're going to break that down. Obama on drones, a lot more. But right, I got a bunch of breaking news. The U.S. nuke sub heads towards Persian Gulf. That's breaking. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com. Now, that's just some of what's coming up. But right now, Trey in South Carolina, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. Called about a year ago. I think I asked how you dealt with the burden of all the knowledge, and you gave me a pretty good answer. And since then, well, I've been awake quite a long time, but you know, I really don't watch too much cable TV, and if I do, it's the History Channel, you know, stuff like that. But even in things like that, you can see how biased everything is, and you can see the conditioning. I mean, the conditioning's everywhere. It's not just in news; it's in TV shows. Once
you're awake, it is so wild to see the bombardment and the brainwashing, and then to see adults with this satisfied little smirk they get when they're in make-believe. They're in a trance. Literally, this is what the psych warfare chiefs say, and they're in make-believe about their role. And they've got all these little niches and subgroups that, you know, that people have these false identities. And they did the studies, you know, 100 years ago where you put a hunting cap on somebody, people act like a hunter. You put a, you know, wild native outfit on, you jump around and say ooga booga. You dress a woman up in a sexy outfit, she feels sexual. You dress guys up in black uniforms, they feel menacing and powerful. And they're little kids. I mean, I've been in New York and other places, and they'll have cops with big machine guns, giant body armor, and you can see the photos of them online, and they're just like, ugh. And they sit there baring their teeth and acting tough, and actually people walk by scared of them, and you see the cops actually feeding on it. And it's like a 5-year-old dressing up like a superhero, running up when my son was 5 and acting like he was scaring me and I'd play along. They literally are children. They are children in a mind control system. I mean, they are so sad. That's why I used to get mad at them. I realized these are damaged people. And the general public are literally just childlike, arrested